Yes, hello. Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. This is Dong again. Now, we will be discussing the challenge to the jurisdiction that was filed by the lawyers of former President Rodrigo Duterte, which was filed on May 1, 2025 before the ICC. Now, this discussion that we will be having today is based on the challenge to the jurisdiction filed by the lawyers of former President Rodrigo Duterte. So therefore, there are some technicalities na legal terms that we may be discussing, but I will just explain this in a simple language so that everybody can understand the same. Okay? Now, the source that I have for this discussion this afternoon is the based on the website of the ICC, to which I downloaded the motion for challenge to the jurisdiction filed by the lawyers of former President Rodrigo Duterte, which, if granted, of course, the complaint against Rodrigo Duterte, former President Rodrigo Duterte, may be dismissed and he can be sent back to the Philippines. I'll give you the link down below, no, so that you can also read such motion that was filed by the lawyers of the former President Rodrigo Duterte. Okay, before we go into the main discussion, we will just give you a brief history of what really happened as far as the Philippines membership to the ICC. First and foremost, on November 1, 2011, the Philippines became the member of the ICC. And then, on March 15, 2018, the government announced its withdrawal from the ICC, and such withdrawal was finally approved on March 17, 2019, no? 1 year thereafter. No? And then, thereafter, on May 24, 2021, the prosecutor requested before the pretrial chamber, no, for the authorization of the comments of the investigation in the situation in the Philippines with respect to the alleged crimes against humanity allegedly committed by the then President Rodrigo Duterte. And then on September 15, 2021, no, take note, no, the pretrial chamber now authorized, no, the commencement of the investigation into the Philippine situation. That the same was granted to the prosecutors. No? Of course, this investigation is limited only from November 1, 2011 up to March 16, 2019, ano? Okay, and then on February 10, 2025, the prosecutor filed a request for the issuance of warrant of arrest against then President Rodrigo Duterte. And then March 7, 2025, no, pretrial chamber issued the warrant of arrest. And then March 12, no, 2025, the former president was surrendered, no, allegedly surrendered to the ICC. The main discussion that we will be having today is as to the so-called jurisdiction over the subject matter, no, and the exercise of jurisdiction by the ICC. So this is these are two different things that we need to discuss. And when you say jurisdiction over the subject matter, there is no question that all of the alleged crime committed during the time that you were still a member of the ICC, no, until March 17, 2019, there's no question about it that the same was still within the jurisdiction of the ICC. However, the main issue to be discussed this afternoon is as to the so-called exercise of jurisdiction of the ICC. When will that take place? Look into the paragraph 17 of the challenge to the jurisdiction. The lawyers of the former president says that the true issue in the present instance is whether dormant jurisdiction stricto sensu could be triggered and whether the court could properly exercise jurisdiction after the Philippines effectively withdrawal from the Rome Statute. Take note, the jurisdiction, no, the over the subject matter of the ICC is from the time that we became member and up to the time that we withdrew until March 16 or March 17, 2019. So there's no question about it. But the point is, when did the court, no, the ICC, commence its investigation relative to these alleged crimes against humanity allegedly committed by the then president? We all know it took the prosecution at least 2 years, no? That was on May 24, 2021, to request the pre-trial chamber, no? For them to be granted the authorization to conduct the investigation, okay? That was, and the same was granted on September 15, 2021 by the ICC. In fact, it was authorized. So, take note that the exercise of jurisdiction of the ICC only took place technically 2 years after the effectivity of the withdrawal of the Philippines. Now, there are still arguments relative to this situation because it says that the distinction between the court and the prosecution. So, meaning, all actions to be made by the prosecution is independent from that of the actions or orders to be made by the court, no? So these are two different entities, no? And of course, based on the argument of the lawyers of the then president, the preliminary examination that was made by the prosecution, which took place in February of 2018, that is prior to the withdrawal from the ICC of the Philippines, is not considered as an action, no, that can trigger the so-called exercise of jurisdiction by the ICC. Why? Because there is a ruling in the, as stated by the lawyers, that preliminary examination is actually a technical term whereby this is a motu proprio action that was conducted by the prosecution, but not necessarily the ICC gave authority to such preliminary examination, okay? And so therefore, the preliminary examination that was conducted in February of 2018 is not part of that exercise of jurisdiction by the ICC. And so therefore, when the pre-trial chamber gave its authorization to the prosecution for the conduct of the investigation, no, we were no longer member of the ICC. And so therefore, the exercise of jurisdiction of the ICC is already in violation of the Rome Statute. That is the argument of the lawyers of the former President Rodrigo Duterte. And take note that, as we have discussed earlier, the preliminary examination conducted in February of 2018 is not sanctioned or allowed or authorized by the ICC. It is basically a motu proprio action that was taken by the prosecution, to which there was no exercise of jurisdiction from the time that no exercise of jurisdiction by the ICC from the time the preliminary examination was conducted in February of 2018. Why? Because the prosecution was merely authorized to conduct the investigation in September 15 of 2021. So, when the ICC exercised its jurisdiction, it somehow violated Article 15 of the Rome Statute as to the exercise of jurisdiction, which should have been had, or should have been conducted, or should have been made during the time that we are still a member of the ICC. And that should have been taken at least prior to the effectivity of the withdrawal, which was on March 17, 2019. Now, a question will be asked that a preliminary examination was conducted in February of 2018. So therefore, from that time, the ICC already exercised jurisdiction. No, that the argument of the lawyer of the former president says that, as quoted here, one of the obiter dictums, one of the decided cases, no, to the second limb of the above-mentioned sentence in Article 127, subparagraph 2 of the statute, we consider that the prosecution's preliminary examination are not a matter under consideration by the court within the meaning of Article 127, paragraph 2 of the statute, and that a situation is only under consideration by the court once a pre-trial chamber authorizes an investigation into that situation. So maliwanag po yun, ano? The preliminary examination conducted in February 2018 was never authorized by the pre-trial chamber, no? And take note, no, only on September 15, 2021, that the pre-trial chamber authorized the commencement of the investigation into the Philippine situation, which was given, that authorization was given to the prosecution. So therefore, the preliminary examination conducted in February 8, 2018 is not sanctioned by the court, and therefore they did not assume jurisdiction or exercise jurisdiction in 2019 from the time that Philippines was still a member. They only exercised jurisdiction which was on September of 2015, 2021, when they authorized the prosecution to conduct the investigation. So therefore, that is now one of the arguments of the lawyers of the former President, Rodrigo Duterte, for the case to be dismissed and President Rodrigo Duterte be sent back to the Philippines because of the fact that they were saying that since the exercise of jurisdiction was only made 2 years after the formal withdrawal was approved on March 17, 2019, therefore, it is now in violation of Article 15 of the Rome Statute that they failed to exercise jurisdiction from the time that the Philippines was still a member of the ICC. Okay, so going back as far as the alleged crime that were committed, that we were still a member of the ICC prior to the withdrawal, there's no question about it. ICC has jurisdiction. But the issue here is as to when did the ICC exercise its jurisdiction over the case and over the person of the former President Rodrigo Duterte, to which we are no longer a member of the ICC. No? So that is the main issue, that they raised before the ICC. However, this is only the first side of the coin. Then we have to hear for second the comment to be made by the prosecution relative to this challenge of jurisdiction by the defense lawyers. So we will wait for that and then we will discuss this. Again, I am discussing this just only to simplify everything. Although I will post the link below relative to this challenge of jurisdiction, so you can still read the entire motion that was filed for your perusal. But again, I'll inform you in advance that there are so many technical matters, technical terms, legal matters that it's really difficult to comprehend, and you have to read it every couple of times for you to appreciate and understand what the lawyers are saying. Okay, thank you very much. So that is our update on this challenge to this jurisdiction that was filed by the lawyers of the former President Rodrigo Duterte. Thank you very much and God bless.